What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Crunch Time Sports. Today, we're going through Detroit Lions storylines. When it comes to training camp, I did this last week. A lot of people seem to like it, so I try to keep these about 10 minutes or less, where I hit all the most important things that have transpired from training camp, whether it's injury updates, storylines, things that Dan has mentioned, or maybe things you haven't caught up with or noticed. So I'm going to do that same thing today and run through everything that happened yesterday and today. Yesterday was Sunday. They had training camp. The Detroit Lions did in the morning. It was a great turnout. A lot of things came of it. So let's get to it. The number one thing I do want to mention, great news. Well, good and a little bit of bad news. The great news is Taylor Decker is officially off the PUP list and will do individual drills, or did do individual drills yesterday at training camp. So Taylor Decker is already working his way back. He had off-season surgery, more of a cleanup surgery for his shoulder. Starting left tackle, he's on his way back. So that is great news for the O-line. We got to see it in a live scrimmage without Taylor Decker. It was brutal. And Dan Skipper, I thought, had a pretty good preseason game. But Aiden Hutchinson took his lunch money in the scrimmage. So Taylor Decker's back. That is great news. So I wanted to let you guys know that. If you didn't know that already, Taylor Decker trending his way back to the Lions. Now, the next thing I want to bring up is Dan Skipper. That is the unfortunate news. It is short-term, though. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. Suffered it on Thursday against the Chargers in the preseason game. He is expected to be back within a week or so. He's doing some individual stuff. It's nothing serious. So ankle sprains are a little tricky. It could be severe. It could be on the lighter side. I think this isn't a severe ankle sprain. So that is good for that tackle depth. And Dan also mentioned Giovanni Manu, the other backup tackle, who's more of a developmental player. He talked about it in his press conference, and we got to see him on Friday. And I thought Friday he had an okay game, especially in the run game. He was really good. Pass game showed some things. Dan said he got better on Thursday against the Chargers. He's had mostly downs in training camp, a couple ups. He's still raw. There's still things he needs to work on, but Dan kind of hammered it like, hey, he was trending a little upwards before that preseason game, and he looks pretty solid in the preseason game. So great news for Giovanni Manu. Better news, I should say, considering how it started with him in training camp. So I'm excited for him. I don't know what to expect. Developmental players can go either way. They don't always hit, of course, and we've seen players that are developmental players in Detroit not hit. Hopefully Giovanni Manu keeps trending upward. He should get a lot of run on Friday against the Falcons with Hendon Hooker starting. That was confirmed. Hendon Hooker is the starting quarterback on Friday against the Falcons. I'm excited for it. I think it's easy to look at that game on Thursday and say, yeah, the Lions don't have a quarterback. I understand it. There's no evidence to suggest they do. When you look at how both quarterbacks played, I mean, Kyle Allen had two really bad mistakes, 2 interceptions, one almost returned for a touchdown. And then Hendon Hooker didn't really do much. But at the point he came in the game, it was already over. He was battling uphill at that point. It'll be nice to kind of get him in a different scenario where you start a game. Not saying he's going to go out and ball out and play excellent, but at least he'll have a fair opportunity to do so. They obviously like him. He's had a really good training camp. So I want to see it really out there on the field, whether it's preseason or not. He could be playing with 2s and 3s, but he's also facing 2s and 3s on defense. So I'm expecting Hendon Hooker to show a lot more this week. I mean, you got to look back last year. He was a year younger, had a year less of experience, and he actually put together some decent preseason games where they won the game. Notably against the Chiefs, actually, where he had some pretty nice plays in that game. He ended up getting a concussion. I think it was against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, where he trucked some guy and got a concussion. But now it's a year later. So we're expecting a better Hendon Hooker. And on Friday against the Falcons, Eric Woodyard, sorry if I mispronounced your name, from ESPN, covers the Lions. He talked about it as well. He's expected to start on Friday. So Hendon Hooker fans, Friday is going to be a big one to see really what he can display and really show his growth with a good opportunity out there. We'll see. Hopefully they do play Isaac Tesla, Dominic Lovett, give them some legit receivers, and we'll see what happens there. I've interrupted the video to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Comer & Cross, and their one-day installation for concrete floor coatings, garages, basements, patios. They do it all. And I'm sure you're tired of staring at your crack-stained garage floor. Well, I have the answer for you. Comer & Cross in their summer installation sale, they're offering 12 months same as cash or $500 in savings. Why put it off? You can contact the number, 248-834-3488. They transform patios, pool decks, basements, even driveways. They do it all. And the best part is they move the stuff out for you. They repair your cracks and pits before applying your stunning new floor, guaranteed. Comer & Cross concrete floors never chip, crack, or peel like epoxy or paint. Again, you could call the number 248-834-3488, or you can book your free estimate at comercross.com. Let's get back to the video there. So looking forward to that as well. Other things that happened yesterday in training camp, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was destroying everyone in his... There's one. There's two. All right. I mentioned this in the last video I made. And I mean this in the most respectful way, because it's a good problem to have. I understand, rightfully so, Jameson Williams is getting all the hype, and he should. He's excellent. You know, he's one of the fastest players in the league. He has a bright future. He's going to make a lot of money. Let's not forget about 14. All right. And on Sunday, him and Jared Goff, according to all the media, I was not in attendance. They put on an absolute clinic. Amon-Ra St. Brown could not be guarded. You saw in the one clip, who's guarding him? One of the best safeties in the league, Brian Branch. Didn't stand a chance. Well, he did give his hand on the ball, so it was good coverage, better offense. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, do not forget about the All-Pro. We can talk about all the weapons they have. We can talk about how much talent they have. And this isn't a slight at the other weapons. But when they need a first down, who are they going to? Number 14. The guy who never drops a football. The playmaker. You know, even though he doesn't run a 4-3 or 4-4, he makes things happen. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, do not forget about him, because he's going to make a ton of plays this year, and he's probably going to have a ton of production. All right, just want to keep that in mind. Again, I've already said that, but I'm going to say it again. Had a hell of a day on Sunday, and I expect him to have one hell of a season. Probably even another all-pro season. All right, wanted to mention that as well. I have to bring this up because it did happen, and I want to watch how I talk about this because it is more of a sensitive topic. All right, Ennis Rakestraw got injured again. He did, and it's unfortunate. Taron Arnold posted this on his story following the injury. He said, "Stay up 9. It gets greater later." This Ennis Rakestraw thing, I don't know how I feel about it, because I am excited. I think physically he has the tools, right? He has the height, the length, the size. Everything checks. The problem, though, with Ennis Rakestraw, and it's not like he can help it, so it's not blaming him, but it's the reality. Staying healthy. That's been a problem coming out of Missouri, and he just cannot stay healthy. So let's take the talent out of the conversation for a second. The best ability is availability. If you can't stay healthy, no one really cares what you can do, honestly. Now, it'd be nice, you know, if you have an elite player that can't stay healthy and you're like, well, when he's in games, he's really good. It's like, well, if he's not in most games, what does it matter anyway? So it's the unfortunate part of kind of Ennis Rakestraw's career arc so far is we haven't really seen his ability because we haven't seen him play. He just, like last year, he was injured. This year, starting the year injured. You know, it's not his fault. It's just the reality. I'm just the messenger. All right. I'm just telling you what's happening. So I really am rooting for Ennis. I know people were excited. Like maybe they have 3 really good corners. Guys, if you can't stay healthy, I don't know how you can evaluate a player at that point. It's just like, we have to see him on the field progress, and he had another setback. So, hey man, we're rooting for you, Ennis. Hope all things work out. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Ennis Rakestraw and kind of what's going on with him, because it is very, very unfortunate. Taron Arnold, though, CB2, he suffered I believe it was a calf injury or a hamstring injury. It was a soft tissue injury. I don't have the exact injury, but it is mild. Dan Campbell said they're being patient with it. So Taron Arnold's not out for a long period of time, just something that's been kind of hindering him. He suffered it. He'll be okay. So Taron Arnold will be back at some point by the end of training camp as well. So nothing to worry about there. The last thing I want to mention, highlight a player, Rock Ya-Sin. They signed him in the offseason, cornerback Rock Ya-Sin. He's been on 5 different teams in the last 5 years. Dan was asked about him. They love him. If you watched the preseason game on last Thursday against the Chargers, he was laying hits. He looked really solid. And on Sunday, they were playing Rock Ya-Sin at safety. They were trying him out at safety. He's got some versatility to him. He can lay hits, and he's a vet. And he, like Dan said, I think Dan used the words, he shows up every day. He's the same player. He busts his ass, and he brings it. So I like Rock Ya-Sin. I think he's a player that people probably need to keep more eyes on, because they signed him for pennies. And we know one thing about Detroit the last couple of years with the Lions is cornerback depth in the NFL in general is hard. But if you have a guy like Rock Ya-Sin who's ready to play, and I've gotten a chance to see him compete in person, It is really nice. I think he's going to be a really good role player for this team. And he can play special teams. He can play all types of stuff. So Rocky Sin, remember the name. Keep an eye on him for the rest of the offseason. That's all the updates I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What storyline are you paying attention to? Anything that stands out to you, thoughts and concerns, go there as well. Subscribe and like the video. Pushes the video out in the algorithm and get your merchandise. officialctsports.com. We'll be live tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. So you're going to want to be there. It's going to be a big week for Detroit Lions football. Until next time, hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.